Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Class 12th English. This is Sir Manish Vijay. Welcomes you all. How's going? How's your studies going on, dear? Hope everything is fine and studies are also going at their level. Yes. Today we are going to start the new chapter. That is the last poetry of your syllabus. Poetry number 6 and Jennifer's Tigers by Adrian Rich. You would be thinking about poetry number 5, that is a roadside stand. Why sir is not teaching? It is not in your syllabus. It is just deleted. You can also delete from your memories, from your book, if it is possible. The chapter is not there. And the remaining poetries and chapters we have completed. It means this is the last topic of your book, Flamingo. And I hope every chapter is understood to you. You have done all the work. And in the last lecture, we studied about the last poetry, A Thing of Beauty, by John Keats. You are not facing any problem. You could ask me in your doubt class. And today we are going to complete this poetry, complete your Flamingo's syllabus. So kindly take out your books, page number 103. Poetry number 6 and Jennifer's ' Tigers by Adrian Rich. Double N is there. Learn the name of the poetry and name of the poetess too. She's a female. So let's see what is there about Adrian Rich. Then we will discuss about the poetry. Fine? Adrian Rich, the poet, 1929 was born in, means still alive maybe, was born in Baltimore, Maryland, USA. She is widely known for her involvement in contemporary women's movement as a poet and theorist. Right? Widely known all over the world, as she was quite involved in the women's movement as a poet and theorist too. She has published 19 volumes of poetry. How many volumes? 19. And 3 collections of essays and other writings. Now, a strong resistance to racism and militarism echoes through her work. She was a feminist and she really resisted racism and militarism, which could be seen in her work, in her poetries, in her artworks. The poem, and underline the line please from here. The poem and Jennifer's Tigers addresses the constraints of married life and women experiences. So here you have got the theme of the poetry, the poem, that this poem is about the constraints of a married life, a women experiences. So you know very well this is a male dominant world, and the wives after marriages, they are completely dominated by the husbands. I'm not saying everywhere, but in most of the part of the societies, not even in India, but all around the world. It is not an Indian poetry. It is written in USA. The author, the poetess there, she wrote about in their own country. So it is everywhere. The women, the housewives, are often, I can say always, dominated by the husbands. They are tortured, they are exploited, they are harassed, they are ruled. I can say completely monitored by the husbands, and they are burdened. They are just burdened after the weddings. by domestic work, and maybe they are not allowed to do any sort of different work which they like to do. They are not allowed to fulfill their hobbies, their desires, their interest, and they are scared to do any other thing, right? This poetry is telling about all these things. In this poetry, the poetess has just taken one character, Aunt Jennifer, who is representing all the women who are dominated by their husbands, who are tortured, who are harassed, or I can say, who are completely exploited by their husbands. So Aunt Jennifer is representing all the women. And tigers are, I can say, her wishes, her desires, which all the women have, right? In this poetry, there is a lady, a woman that is known as Aunt Jennifer, and who is just making some embroidery of tigers through which she wants to express her desires. But while she is embroidering, her fingers were not moving properly. They were trembling, they were fluttering. With this thought that if her husband gets to know that she is not doing her domestic chores and is busy in that embroidery, sitting idle, not doing domestic chores, he would be annoyed with that. How would he react? With this thinking, Aunt Jennifer is trying to do that embroidery but is not able to. So let's see in detail. Firstly, I am going to recite the whole poetry, then I will explain it line to line with the meanings and with the poetic devices. Clear, dear? So, page number 103. Before we read, what does the title of the poem suggest to you? We have discussed already. Are you reminded of other poems on tigers? It's your choice. If you remind, you can. No issues with this. I am explaining it. So please listen to it. Try to feel the sensation by which the poetess has written this poetry. Okay, and try to understand the pain and sorrows of a woman, of a married woman, if she is not married to a right man, a gentleman, who really thinks that she also needs freedom in her life. She's not an animal. She's also a human being. She also has some rights of freedom, of dignity, right? And Jennifer's tigers prance across her screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the man beneath the tree. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. And Jennifer's fingers, fluttering through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. So let's see. Very short poetry, just of 3 stanzas. I hope you would have listened to my recitation. You also try to read it. Just pause the recording and just read it yourselves. That is very important. Now, before getting the explanation, write the meanings of the hard words. First word in first line, prance. Underline the word, write the meaning. To move or walk proudly. To move or walk proudly. Topaz, it is kind of a shiny metal of yellow color. Shiny metal of yellow color. Denizens, written here already, a person, an animal, or a plant that lives, grow, or is often found in a particular place. Fine? Clear? Next, you can see sleek, elegant, written already, elegant. Next is chivalric. How to pronounce? Chivalric. Write the meaning. An act of gentleman. To behave like a gentleman, to walk like that with courteousness, with courtesy. Certainty, surety. You know it very well. Now second stanza. Word is fluttering. Write the meaning. To move in quick, irregular manner. To move in quick, irregular manner. Clear? Yes. Then next meaning is fluttering is done. Ivory, you know it very well, kind of an element. Massive. Massive means a lot of. Heavy. You can write here. Ordeals. Last stanza. Ordeals. Write the meaning. Extremely severe tests, T-E-S-T-S, extremely severe tests or experiences. Panel, kind of a board, I can say, which is used for embroidery. And prancing, you know it very well. I have just told you, moving with proud. That's all. So before explaining you, I can tell you one more thing, rhyme scheme. In all these stanzas, the same rhyme scheme is followed. You can see, screen, green, tree, certainty, A, B, B. Not only in first stanza, but in all these stanzas, this rhyme scheme can be followed. Is followed. Screen, green, A, tree, certainty, B. Wool, pull, A, band, hand, B. Lie by, A, made, unafraid, B. Clear? Yes. Now I am just explaining, then I will explain the poetic devices in each and every stanza particularly. First stanza. In first stanza, the poetess is describing the quality of a tiger. I can say it is a description of a tiger. How they are, how they look, how they behave. And Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen. So Aunt Jennifer, she's making some tigers. She's doing the embroidery on a board, on a panel, and her tigers, they are jumping, they are moving, walking with a proud across a screen. Maybe a kind of screen, it can be in this manner. She is just making some embroidery or drawing paintings वगैरह on a board, and tigers are there. They are just moving in a very proud manner, walking or moving in such a proud manner. Clear? bright topaz denizens. Now they are compared. Their skin is of yellow color with these stripes, very shiny, very bright. So they are compared to bright topaz, which is also of same color, very bright, just like crystal, very shiny metal, denizens. And they are the animal who live on a particular place, grow there, and often found in a particular. They don't change their habitats. Okay, they are the king of that place. They don't change their habitats, like tigers. They live in a particular place. So they are bright topaz denizens. They are the animal of yellow color with these stripes on their body, very shiny skin, and they are the animal of a particular place. They rule that place. That place is controlled by these animals of a world of green. In the forest, in the green world, they do not fear the man beneath the tree. Beneath means under. And they are their own master. They are not, they don't fear the man who dominates the world. They are the king themselves here. And this forest is dominated by the tigers. Tigers are not dominated by any of the creatures, not even the man. And the man who is standing under the tree, maybe that man is a hunter, wants to hunt the tiger, or whatever sort of man is there. The tiger is not scared of that man, because it is tiger's habitat, surrounding, house. And who is man to scare him at his own place? Right? They pace in a sleek, chivalric certainty. They pace, they move, they walk, full of elegance in their own style. Chivalric, like a gentleman. Chivalric, like a gentleman. Full of courtesy, certainty, surety. They are sure that they are gentlemen. It is their place. Nobody can harm them, hurt them. Nobody can dominate them. So they are moving with a proud way, like a gentleman. Understood? Means tigers are free from any sort of thing. They are not controlled by, monitored by anything. And in this manner, Aunt Jennifer is just expressing her desires to be free from all the burdens of the married life. She wanted to live like tigers with courage. She doesn't want to be dominated by the husband as she is dominated by. Just like tigers. She is expressing her desires in first stanza. Now see what is the poetic devices. You can see first is metaphor. Bright topaz. They are compared with bright topaz. Metaphor. Write it. Anaphora. Now I will not describe last chapter. I know I have told or explained these poetic devices many times. They, anaphora. Same poetic device, same term is used. Chivalric certainty, same sound, alliteration. That's it. Now next stanza. And Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool. Now she is knitting. She is doing the embroidery with the help of wool. And her hands, her fingers are fluttering. They are just moving in quick, irregular way, not properly. She wants to. Clear? So her fingers are just like she is just trembling. She is not getting confidence. And this is shown by her fingers. They are moving in a quick and irregular manner. Through her wool, she wanted to do the embroidery. Find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The needle, very small thing, which is very light. and it seems that she is not able to pull that uh, very light ivory needle even, because she doesn't dare to. She is scared that if her husband sees her doing this thing, sitting idle, doing the embroidery, not doing domestic chores, he would be annoyed. He would scold her. Even he could beat her, harass her. But she just wants to she just wants to spend some time for herself, which she never ever allowed to. Right? The massive weight of uncle's wedding band. She is married and she is tied with a band, that is wedding band, tied with some responsibilities after the marriage. And the weight of that wedding band, it could be a ring, any sort of band, like Mangal Sutra in Indian culture, it is a wedding band. In foreign countries, engagement ring, the wedding rings. So it seems that the weight of whatever wedding band she used to wear, it is so heavy, the weight is so massive that her fingers are not moving properly, and she is not able to pull that ivory needle, which is very light in weight. Sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand, and that weight is so much. She's tied by those duties of a married life which she has to fulfill. She's obliged by those duties. She could not be freed from those duties. Right? Got it? Yes. Now the first is alliteration. Finger fluttering. FF. That is our first poetic device. Alliteration. Next is weight, wedding, again alliteration. You can see here in third line. Not much poetic devices are there. So in second stanza, the poetess is describing Aunt Jennifer, what kind of female woman she is. Understood? She is completely dominated by, she is quite a fluttering lady, diffident one, not so confident, submissive. The submissiveness of the women is described here. Submissive, dominated by the husband totally, scared even to do anything which she likes to do. Note, she is not even able to express her hobbies. Clear? When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ring with ordeals she was mastered by. After some time, aunt is dead, she is getting older. Her terrified hands will lie. You could see her hands after her death, which were quite terrified, scared. They will lie still ringed. Ringed, there are two meanings of rings. It can be a pun. Ring, that is worn by the female, the women, wedding ring or engagement ring, or ringed, surrounded by, right? Completely encircled by, with ordeals, severe tests or experiences of wedding, which she was mastered by, controlled by. Whether she is died, but in her finger, you could see the wedding ring. It would be there. She would not be free from these responsibilities, these duties of married life, even after her death, which she was controlled by her husband, dominated by her husband for her whole life. She would not be able to free from those duties and responsibilities after her death too. Written When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands. You could see her hands. Maybe when a woman works so much, does the domestic chores from morning to night, like washing clothes, washing utensils, mopping the floor, you could see the change in the hands. Hands get rough, torn out, right? Worn out. So after seeing torn, worn hands, it could be recognized very easily that she was controlled by so much of harassment. She was totally exploited after marriage by the husband. And by see the ring also, you can see she is still controlled after the death too. She could not get free after death too. But now there is a contrast, difference between Aunt Jennifer and the tiger. But the tigers in the panel, in the board which she had made herself, she herself could not be free. But whatever tiger she has made in the panel, they would be free. They would live freely. They will move here and there with proud and unafraid. They would not be scared of anybody, afraid of anybody, as Aunt Jennifer used to be afraid of her husband. Clear? I hope everything is clear. Let's see the poetic devices. Rhyme scheme I have given you already. Only one poetic device is there. Alliteration, you can see prancing, proud. Right? And to the tigers, as she has just shown her desires, and it has been shown that tiger is living at his own habitat. He has not changed the place. He was the master of that place. But the women, after marriages, they have to move to the new house, which is not their house. Right? But tigers are the master of their houses, but they are not the master of their own houses. Clear? Yes. Everything is clear to you, I hope. Nothing is more left to explain you. Let's have the question answers, page number 104. Let's discuss these question answers before winding up the class. First question. How do denizens and chivalric add to our understanding of the tiger's attitude? Yeah, they are the master of a particular area, place. They live in a particular place. You know the meaning? Chivalric, they are very, just like gentlemen, move like gentlemen. You would have seen tiger moving in there. It shows that they are the creatures who dominate that place. Nobody can control them. Nobody can rule over them. Right? It is tiger's attitude. They are totally free. Think more. You can write more. Okay. Why do you think Aunt Jennifer's hands are fluttering through her wool in the second stanza? By thinking about her husband, that he would not like, she was just fulfilling her desire. She was sitting idle for her hobby of embroidery. Why is she finding the needle so hard to pull? Because of the massive weight of the work, of the domestic chores she does at home, and because of the fear too. You can write these answers. What is suggested by the image massive weight of uncle's wedding band? By the responsibilities, duties after marriage, dominance, ring, right? Of what or whom is Aunt Jennifer terrified with? Her husband. Ordeals, experience, right? What are the ordeals Aunt Jennifer is surrounded by? Means the experience of married life after wedding, the exploitation, the harassment. Same answers, sort of answers would be there. Why is it significant that the poet uses the word ring? Because that is a ring only, which showed that she was married. And after getting that ring, after wearing that ring only, she was completely controlled by the husband, like a dog's lash in his throat, around his neck. Sorry, not in throat, around his neck, controlled by the master itself, like this. What are the meanings of the word ring in the poem? Two meanings. One is the ring, wedding ring. Other is the surrounded by or encircled by. Why do you think Aunt Jennifer created animals that are so different from her own character? Opposite, contradictory. Why? To express her desires, her feelings, her wishes. She wants to live a life like the tiger. Interpret the symbols found in the poem. You can find yourselves. Do you sympathize with Aunt Jennifer? What is the attitude of the speaker towards Aunt Jennifer? Yes. What is the attitude? The attitude of sympathy with Tiger or Aunt Jennifer? Aunt Jennifer. So that's all of my side. I hope I tried my best to explain you the poetry. You have understood the poetry. Now this is your homework to read the poetry thoroughly with all the meanings and the poetic devices. Learn the hard words, learn the name of the poetry and name of the poetess too. Do all the question answers which are at the back of the chapter. That's all of my side. Thank you for listening to me. Bye bye. Take care. See ya.